And we are live. Come on in, everybody. Come on in, everybody. Don't be shy. Come join us with another discussion at the Queen's Roundtable. I'm just waiting for everybody to get in before we start. Once you come in, come on and drop us a little comment in the chat room so we can know you there. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Facebook, YouTube, come on in. Hey, everybody. Welcome.
What's up, everyone?
Welcome, y'all. We're going to go ahead and start with getting our disclaimers up because we're going to be sharing some stuff with y'all. And we want to make sure we don't get any copyright strikes. Y'all know how that go. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up the disclaimers real quick. Just give us a moment. And sorry, we're running a little bit behind. But we definitely going to make up for it. It's going to be a fantastic show today. We have a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. And if you guys can do me a favor, share this channel. Share this channel. Let your friends, family, and everybody know about this channel. We have great discussions. We welcome all opinions. We welcome all thoughts. And we just have adult discussions, whether we agree, disagree, whatever. We welcome you guys to come on in. We welcome y'all to come on in. Y'all know me. I'm your girl, Malika the Lioness, Malika the Warrior, or Malika, whatever you want to call me. And I got your girl, Kanisha, aka Nini, is in the building, of course. My right hand. And I also have Lanice, which I consider to be my left hand. And I pretty much can't move.
Everybody, how y'all doing?
Yeah. I really don't move on this channel without my right and my left hand. So, okay, I'm going ahead and get my disclaimers on up to make sure we don't have any issues with copyright the contents that we're going to be sharing. Hey, watch out, squad. Happy to see you here today. What's up? Shout out to y'all. We missed you guys from last week. We decided to take a week off. So this is the reason why we didn't go live last week because, every so often we have to have time out because it's so much with the things that we discuss and the things that we cover. And we just don't want to allow these issues to just seep down in our spirit to where we can't breathe. If you guys get what I'm saying. So a lot of times, we discuss taking breaks in between the things that we looking into, reading, speaking on, sharing. We said, okay, sometimes we just have to unplug from social media altogether, which is something that I do randomly. Like I will have my moment where I just have to unplug. And I'm like, okay, ladies, so I'll be on social media for a day or two. So that's why we took off last week. But we wanted to give a special Father's Day shout out to all you great dads out there. I want to give a special happy Father's Day to my homeboy John Q, to my homeboy Antoine Miles, my homeboy Malik. And like I said, all you fathers out there, we give y'all a special happy belated Father's Day, and we hope you guys had a magnificent weekend. We also wanted to do a special Father's Day shout out to the men who lost their lives and couldn't be there to celebrate, be there with their children to celebrate Father's Day. So I'm gonna go down a quick list, and if anybody we forgot to mention, please feel free to throw some names out in the chat room, okay? But we have to keep in mind that when we're looking at these cases, they're not just cases. These are actual people who lost their lives, people that cannot celebrate their birthday, people that cannot celebrate Mother's Day, Father's Day, and people that cannot be in their child's life. Okay, so we just wanted to take the time out to say a special happy Father's Day, and in remembrance of these victims that could not be around to celebrate Father's Day. Okay?
Absolutely, Malika, because I lost my father at a young age to cancer. And, as a kid, I can identify what it's like to not have a father there.
Wow.
So,
I didn't know.
Yeah, we really want to shout out all the fathers that's in the children's lives, and for the ones that's not here, we really want to dedicate this show to them as well.
Exactly. And we're not talking about absentees, father, who choose not to be a part of their child's life. We don't feel like Father's Day are for you. If you have not been in your child's life 364 days of the year, don't take that one day out the year to try to acknowledge your child or acknowledge Father's Day. This is not about you. Father's Day to me is about the active fathers who are actively present in their child's life. No matter if you can't really be there, but you have to make child support payments to keep your relationship going, or just to show that you care because you may have issues with your baby mama. Who knows? We're not talking about the deadbeat dads. We're talking about the ones who acknowledge the fact that they are fathers and they do what they do they do what they have to take care of their children, period. And we also talking about those who are absent because they cannot be there. They would want to be in a child's life, but they can't be there. So this goes out to y'all. This is a special shout out for you guys. So like I said, we're going to go down a list of people and just kind of give you guys a briefing on their story, just so we can keep their memory alive as well. Okay, happy Father's Day. And shout out to Eric Garner, who on July 17, 2014, died at the hands of a New York City police officer who put him in a chokehold while arresting him on suspicion of selling single cigarettes from packs without tax stamps. Garner repeated words, "I can't breathe," 11 times while laying face down on the sidewalk. Happy Father's Day, and shout out to Dante Parker, a married father of 5 in Southern California, while in San Bernardino County Sheriff's custody on August 13, 2014. He was tased multiple times by police trying to arrest him for suspicion of attempted burglary. Shout out and happy Father's Day to Walter Scott, a father of 4, who was an unarmed Black man shot and killed on April 4th, 2015 in North Charleston, South Carolina, by Michael Slager, a white North Charleston police officer. Slager has stopped Scott for a non-functioning brake light. Slager was charged with murder after a video surfaced showing him shooting Scott from behind while Scott was fleeing, which contradicted Slager's report of the incident. In 2016, a 5-week trial ended in a mistrial due to a hung jury. Slager was indicted on federal charges, including a civil rights violation and obstructive of justice. In May 2017, he made a plea agreement. Slager pleaded guilty to federal charges, and in return for his guilty plea, the state's charges were dropped. In September 2017, Slager was sentenced to 20 years in prison, with the judge determining the underlying offense was second-degree murder. Happy Father's Day, and shout out to Alton Sterling, a 37-year-old Black man and father of a 15-year-old son, who was killed on July 5th, 2016, after an encounter with Baton Rouge police. The encounter occurred when officers were dispatched to Sterling's location outside of a convenience store after a call told dispatch that a Black man in a red shirt who was selling CDs had threatened him with a gun. And an altercation between Sterling and the officers occurred. Footage appears to show two officers approaching Sterling outside the store. One officer appears to tackle him over the hood of a car, and then both pounced apparently to restrain him on the pavement. Sterling was shot during the altercation and died on the scene. Shout out and happy Father's Day to Javar Ambler, a father of two who was driving home from a poker game in early hours of March 28, 2019, when a Williamson County Sheriff deputy noticed that he failed to dim his headlights on his SUV to oncoming traffic, which led to a high-speed chase. And 28 minutes later, Ambler dying on a North Austin street after deputies held him down and used a taser on him 4 times while a reality TV show filmed. Ambler was 40 years old, and he repeated, pleading for mercy, stating, I have congested heart failure. I can't breathe, he cried. Save me, before deputies wrestled him to the ground with handcuffs on and deployed a final shock. George Floyd, happy Father's Day, and shout out to you. A 46-year-old father of 5 was killed on May 25th, 2020 in Minneapolis, Minnesota during an arrest for allegedly using a counterfeit bill. Derek Chauvin, the arresting officer, pinned him with a knee to the neck for nearly 9 minutes while Floyd was handcuffed and lying face down, begging for his life, repeatedly saying, I can't breathe. Chauvin was initially charged with third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter, to which was later added second-degree murder, and the other 3 officers were charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder. Okay, and we have another, our last but not least, shout out to you and happy Father's Day to Rayshard Brooks, whose story we're going to get into a little bit later. A 27-year-old father of 3 and a stepson who was shot in a parking lot of Wendy's after 2 Atlanta police officers responded to a 911 call on June 12th, reporting that a man who appeared intoxicated was sleeping in his car in the restaurant's drive-thru. As of today, both officers involved have since been charged for their involvement. One of the officers, Garrett Roloff, I might be saying his name wrong, I'm sorry. The ex-cop that shot Brooks was charged with felony murder among 11 counts total. The second officer, Devin Brosnan, was charged with aggravated assault for standing on Brooks after he was shot, and 2 counts of violation of oath. Okay, so we must remember, you guys, that these were somebody's father. These were sons. These were uncles. And they lost their life. Okay, and our men are losing their life every day. Black men are losing their life every day, whether it's black on black crime, due to police brutality. They losing their life every day. So Father's Day is a day that I feel like we should really acknowledge and make sure we let our kings know that they are loved, that we appreciate them. And not just use it as a day to bash those who are not active or those who you consider to be not good dads. But, actually use that day to tell maybe your uncle, your brother, your godfather that they are loved, they are appreciated, because I think our kings need to hear this. So we wanted to give a special happy Father's Day to you guys and a special shout out to you guys for being, just who you are and being kings. Okay. So to kind of bring everybody up to speed, hey, everybody. Hey, John Q. Hey, Where Me. Shout out to all of y'all in the audience. Okay. So to kind of give us like an update real quick on a George Floyd discussion. There isn't really any updates that we really wanted to touch on, but we do have a quick video clip that we wanted to share with you guys. I don't know if you guys are aware, but one of the officers was let out on bail. Now, it may be more than one officer that was let out on bail. I don't know. But one of the officers was let out on bail, and he was caught shopping at a convenience store. And so the video went viral. So I'm going to play this video so you guys can see the actual video and just have a quick discussion as to, do you think these officers should be let out on bail until they go to trial? Do you feel that they're innocent until proven guilty and they should be able to be let out on bail and live their lives until they actually go to trial? Or do you guys feel like they should be locked up? They should be locked up awaiting trial. So we would love to know your thoughts and everything on there. So please drop your thoughts below, and we're going to go ahead and pull up this video for you real fast. Oh, y'all, I forgot to hit my click. I forgot to hit my little click button. I remember now. Okay, so this is the video, you guys.
What?
What's your name?
Oh, yeah, that's me.
It is you. Mm-hmm. So you're out of prison.
Yes.
And you're comfortably shopping in Cup Foods. As if you didn't do anything.
I wouldn't call it comfortably. I'd just say getting necessities or helping.
I don't think you should have that right. I don't even think you should be out on bail.
I can understand.
I mean, how does it feel?
I'm sorry you feel that way.
No, you're not sorry. Like, you're literally outside here comfortably as if you didn't kill that man. Did you think that people weren't going to recognize you? Honestly, did you? You don't have the right to be here. You killed somebody in cold blood. You do not have the right to be here.
I'll get my stuff paid for.
No, we don't want you to get your stuff. We want you to be locked up. You're honestly in Cup Foods, comfortably shopping, out of prison. Like, do you feel any remorse for what you did? Do you?
I'm just gonna grab my stuff.
This is the officer who was let out of jail today for shooting George Floyd. Or, I'm sorry, suffocating him. You're not going to be able to comfortably go around Minnesota like this. I pulled up the picture. I knew it was you. It's just like he was there when they were killing him. And it's just like, this is crazy that you're here just thinking everything's okay. I mean, you don't want to apologize. You don't want to say anything. Like, no. Because this video is going to be on the internet. Yeah, he has the nerve to literally come outside thinking that we don't know what he looks like. How dare you? You're not going to be able to comfortably live in Minnesota after this, or anywhere. And you will be going back to jail. Trust. Trust. Yeah, he bailed out. How'd you get the money? How'd you get the money? And you're lucky that they don't have your address. You're lucky that they don't have your address. Hi. This is one of the police officers that was involved in killing George Floyd. He was out on bail today, and he's over here comfortably shopping in Cup Foods as if.
Okay. So I'd like to know what you guys think. I would like to know what you guys think. If y'all think that this person, hold on. That's my girl Barbara. I'm sorry. And I also let me give a quick shout out to Barbara Burris. She's somebody, she's an activist out of Memphis, and she's somebody who follows all of these stories. She's somebody who shares the stories and with us, with our group, and we get a lot of our stories from Barbara. So if you guys do not know who Barbara is, look her up on Facebook, and she's on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow her on Facebook and YouTube. She brings the scoop, and a lot of times she's actually there, being an activist and speaking on behalf of our people. So shout out to you, Barbara. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that these people should be, locked up until the day that they await trial? Do you think they should be able to go out, live their own life, continue living their life until innocent, until proven guilty? What do you guys feel when it comes to that? I'm gonna start with you, Lanice.
I feel that they should possibly stay locked up until the charges are brought up against them and they're tried and found guilty or not guilty. Because the people they killed, they can't come back. They can't do anything. And I imagine myself as a family member that lost a loved one, what that would possibly do to me, my children, to see someone out and about shopping, knowing that you killed my family member, one of my loved ones. That would just tear me up. So I think that it's not fair for them to just be out living their everyday life and doing what they love to do, and here my loved one is gone.
I totally agree. I think there should be stipulations when it comes to bonds, being let out on bond. I think murder charges, whether or not you have been found guilty, I think that when it comes to just the charge alone and evidence, which like we have evidence right here of the video, the lab that surfaced. I think when it comes to charges such as murder, you shouldn't be let out. Like there shouldn't even be an option to bond out. Like maybe a drug conviction or something like that. Yeah. Okay. But when it comes to something like a case like murder or charges against you like murder, I definitely don't feel like you should be bond out. But what you think, Kanisha?
I don't know. I guess he should be. I mean, due to the situation that happened, maybe he should be still locked up. He shouldn't be able to be out in public shopping, walking around freely. But his charges was kind of different from the officer's charges. I mean, they held him down, but they didn't physically kill him. But I don't think that he should get a slap on the hand just because, he didn't really play a part in it. But I don't know. I don't think he should be walking around. Like, no, I don't think none of them should have got bail, honestly. I just don't. It's kind of like 50-50 with me.
Yeah, because even though he wasn't charged with
that,
second degree murder, he was still charged with aiding and abetting.
I would think that they would have at least given him house arrest.
Yeah. Okay, well, John Q said they should be locked up, especially for the charges against them until their day comes in court. That's exactly what I think too. Give them a way to escape the country. That do give them a way to escape.
Well, I'm pretty sure that they were told that they can't leave the state of Minneapolis, until trial. So I'm pretty sure they know if they fled, it'll be, way more trouble for them. So I think they know not to leave the state of Minneapolis or Minnesota.
I kind of agree with what Lanice said too. Like, think about the family of George Floyd and to actually see them walking around. You know what I'm saying? Just living a life like that have to be a messed up feeling. So I definitely agree with everybody. I don't think that they should be able to just be let off and walking around strolling as if nothing happened. And I think that girl that recorded him and went live, she is very brave. She is very brave for approaching him and saying what she's saying and putting his face all on camera, because maybe that would make him and other people feel uncomfortable to go out. You know what I'm saying? Because you should, if you're going to get let out on bond, you definitely shouldn't feel comfortable going out. So shout out to her. Big ups to her for that. Hey, everybody, for just tuning in. And so, as we said before, we was going to kind of touch on the case of Rayshard Brooks. In case you guys haven't seen the footage, we're going to show a quick footage of the case of what happened with Rayshard Brooks. Rayshard, I might be saying his name wrong. I'm sorry. Rayshard Brooks. So you guys can get a chance to actually see what happened in this case right here. And we're only going to play a quick clip of it. We're not going to play the full thing, but just a quick clip of it so you guys can kind of get an idea of what's going on today with all the protesting and things like that in regards to Rayshard Brooks. This right here is a very controversial case. A lot of people are angry, and we have some people who feel like his death was justified. By no means do I feel like his death was justified. Hell, I don't feel like the police have any justifications as to killing somebody, unless they actually were being shot at. Okay, but definitely not when somebody's back is turned to them. So I'm going to play this quick clip real quick so we can get off into that discussion. And here it is. And I apologize. Everything is running kind of slow today. I got a lot of windows open. So I'm gonna go ahead and rewind it and play it again real quick so you guys can make sure you guys can see the video. I'm gonna go ahead and play it again real quick. And I deliberately left the sound, huh?
Make sure you hit your button.
Yeah, I deliberately left the sound off of this video because this is more a visual than it is what the lady is saying in the background. That really don't matter. Now, when I first seen that video, I couldn't believe that they opened fire like that. You know, while it was people out there, while it was civilians out there, I could not believe that. And I had a conversation with my husband because, you know, my husband used to be in the street life before he found God and got him a nice job and became a family man. He used to be in the street life. So I asked my husband, I said, do you ever remember encounters like that with the police where they would shoot and where they would shoot at you? Because I know he didn't been in the streets and ran from the police before. And he was like, no, like, I do not remember this. Like back in the day, they would chase us on foot, you know, and if they couldn't catch a nigga, then they couldn't catch us. You know what I'm saying? We just got away. But this right here is all new to me. where when somebody flee, they just shoot you down. Like, this is all new to me. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and they didn't used to do that in Detroit. I mean, they had people that fled all the time, and if they knew who you were, you would just have a warrant out for your arrest. But this right here it's all new to me. Like what we seen with Rayshard, Rayshard Brooks, like all of this is new to me. I don't know about y'all, but I've never seen this before, to where you take off and that's justification for shooting. I've never seen that before. That's crazy as hell to me. So I just wanted to, really speak on this right here and kind of get y'all thoughts and everything on this case. And I'm not saying anybody is right, anybody is wrong. Your opinion is your opinion, but drop a 1 if you feel like his shooting was justified. Drop a 2 if you feel like it was not justified. And I say that because, like I said, this case right here is very controversial. I've read comments where people say, well, he tackled the police. He took his taser. He shot the taser at the officer. So what do you think? Do you think that, the fact that he wrestled the officers, and let's keep in mind too, I just gave you guys a briefing on the story. Let's keep in mind too, the guy was drunk. This is the reason why he was sleeping in his car in the beginning, because he was drunk. And I think people fail to realize that when you're drunk, you're not really 100% in your right mind. And here it is, you being possibly, I didn't see this part, but possibly yanked out the car and mishandled while you're intoxicated. And so you as a black man, he's probably thinking like, what the hell? I ain't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all trying to arrest me for? I didn't do anything. So it was probably like a little confrontation going back and forth between him and the officer. So prior to what we see is what I'm trying to, bring into y'all minds. Prior to what we see. So here it is. They wrestling him on the ground. Keep in mind, he's still a little bit intoxicated. And he's probably thinking, oh, hell no. Y'all ain't about to shoot me, or y'all ain't about to tase me or kill me or whatever. Who knows what was going on in his mind. But I think people is ignoring the fact that he was still intoxicated. He was still a little intoxicated. Now, I'm not saying to excuse his behavior, but what I'm saying is that's something to think about. It's just something to think about. And so, although he was being a little confrontational, or maybe some people might say resistant, a little resistance, I still don't feel that justifies them killing him. But like I said, that's just my opinion. I would love to know what y'all think.
Okay, well, can I say this?
Of course.
First of all, why couldn't somebody come outside from that restaurant and tap on his window and say, "Excuse me, sir, are you okay?"
He could have been dead in there, or unconscious.
Exactly.
Anything.
Is anything wrong? Do you need us to call anybody to come and pick you up? How about, we give you something to drink, give you some food, or what, you sit right here. We need you to pull over, or matter of fact, you get out the car, and if you don't mind, we'll pull your car over in the parking space, and, we'll have somebody come to help you. Why couldn't they do that? Why was the police called in the first place? What happened to I am my brother's keeper? What happened to that?
That's a good point.
Why couldn't they do that? And then if they had to call the police, how come the police didn't do that? How come they couldn't have said, okay, sir, you seem to be intoxicated. We want to make sure you get home. Call somebody. We're going to leave your car out here. So, if you can't call nobody, then your car get towed. Why couldn't they give him that courtesy? Why did they have to just go off and start arresting him or startle him? Because I'm pretty sure, like you said, if you're intoxicated and then you're getting woke up out your sleep, You first of all, you don't remember where you're at, how you got there. So to him, he was probably like, where the hell am I and what is this?
I totally agree. And then, I mean, it's been instances where I've actually seen on video where people have been questioning the police, like, okay, why was I pulled over? Am I being detained? And they take that as a means of being belligerent, resisting arrest. And so they want to take it a step further. Oh, you questioning me? You know, and they want to take that as a means of being confrontational, because a lot of times it's them, from what I've noticed, being confrontational. We might simply just ask the question, why the hell am I being pulled over? What's going on? Why am I being arrested? In which you should be able to tell me, why am I being handcuffed? Am I being detained? You should be able to ask those questions, but they may take it as if you being confrontational. And so now I have to call in backup. Now I have to tase you. Now I have to mace you, when it's just not the case. When sometimes it's not the case. And I'm not just speaking on this case right here. I'm saying I've seen this before, when people were just asking questions. So I can't imagine what was going on in his mind. For one, being a little bit intoxicated. For two, like Watch Out Squad said, like, that's the worst, to be waking up out your sleep on some BS.
Yeah, and then again, like Watch Out Squad just said, they and I agree, they could have called an Uber. It didn't have to end this way.
Yeah, could have had him to call his family. Could have had him to call his family. It definitely didn't have to end this way. So I just think it's really sad, because now another father, another dad lost his life. And then, see, we have to also think about, what does that mean for our children? You know, because if they want to look at Black men as if, you know, Black men are a threat to them, what about the young Black boy that have to grow up without a father? Because that's what y'all doing. Y'all taking away the fathers. And so now we're going to have a generation of young Black men growing up who really not going to have no respect for the law. Hello? How is that solving anything? That's something to think about. How does that solve anything? And y'all know,
as far as the children of all these victims, just imagine their kids, like, they're going to be scared to even have any encounter with the law whatsoever, because they're going to remember what happened to their parent.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So now you're going to have a generation that's brought up as to really not respect the law, to fear the law, to run and not comply. You know, so it's crazy. To me, it's like a no-win situation. You know, they have to have better training, better policing. It's just a no-win situation, because, you know, you're going to look at somebody like Rayshard as a thug. Rayshard Reed is who I'm talking about, as a thug, somebody who ran, somebody who shot at the cops. This is the things they're saying. But yet instead, you take away the Black fathers. You take the Black fathers out the home, so where they don't have that proper raising and guidance with two parents in the home. How does that help? That's all I'm saying. So anyway, y'all know when this video went viral, it took place in Atlanta. And so, you know, Atlanta was not buying it. I mean, the people of Atlanta was not having it whatsoever. So they began to rally. And y'all know the Wendy's ended up getting burned down. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is kind of show you guys the picture, in case you guys haven't seen the photo of the two officers who was charged in this case right here, because the officers were charged, thank God. But I'm gonna show you guys a quick photo of the two officers that was charged and the suspect who was charged for burning down the Wendy's. Okay, so, you know, it's crazy to me. So, and yes, we do show photos because we want to put these people on blast. We like putting people on blast over here. We like to put you on blast. If you come on this show or if you watch this show, you will know that your face is being put out there and you are being put on blast. So and when this is us doing our part. So just in case you get let out on bail and you decide to go to a convenience store and shop like ain't nothing happened, people will remember you. They will remember your face. So these are the two officers that was charged that night for killing this man. So yes, we put their face on blast over here. Okay. And like we said, over there in Atlanta, they wasn't buying it. They were not buying it, you guys. They have they were doing, I guess you could say, peaceful rallies. And then some rallies turned out, some things happened over the weekend. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how it started, okay, before I go to what happened. Let me show you guys how it started. So everything started out peacefully because if you ask me, our people know how to rally in peace. We know how to use our voices, you know, to rally in peace. But of course, some things got out of hand. Hold on. I didn't use it that time. Okay, so this was the rally in Atlanta that took place. Some random white man standing on top of the police truck. Trying to fast forward the video a little bit. Is that the right video? I'm not even sure if that's the right video because I'm like, that's not the video I was searching for. Let me see. That might not even be the right video. I'm sorry, y'all. It's a lot trying to
find the right video. Jennifer said that in the chat, if I'm running away from you, why am I a threat to you still? And I agree. I'm not understanding that. If I'm running away from you, why do you choose to pull out your gun and shoot me in my back? What happened to you being in physical shape to chase after me and tackle me down? Why do you have to pull out your gun and shoot me?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't the right video. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what that guy was doing. I was looking like, what in the hell was going on? That might be another video that somebody shared with me, something that we got to look into a little bit later. But anyway, here's
investigating the shooting, and this surveillance video, if this could call that up, this they're saying will be a key part of their investigation. Here you can see Brooks running from officers, and at one point they say he turns and they believe he's pointing a taser at officers. Now, seconds later, he's shot and he goes down. Now, we asked the GBI director, Rick Reynolds, if pointing a taser is enough use of force, or it constitutes enough use of force to shoot with deadly efforts.
Not passing the buck, but that's a question that's going to have to be answered by the prosecutor in this case. You know, what our job is to gather all the facts we can, do it as thoroughly, as completely, and quickly as possible, and then give it to him. And then that DA's office is going to have to make that call.
Now, as they try to make that call, they say they are again investigating this, and they're going to try to do a very thorough investigation as quickly as they can. Again, that video that they just showed is going to be one of the key points they're using. They're also using some videos that have been turned over by eyewitness. They say when they gather all of that together, they will turn the information over to the district attorney's office, and they then will determine if charges will be filed against that officer. Live in Centennial Park, Bobath Yates, CBS 46 News.
Okay, so, and of course they couldn't actually say whether or not that constitutes him being shot with deadly force. And think about it too, you guys. If these officers was trained, why he wasn't shot in the leg to stop him from running? Why do they shoot to kill? That's another question that I can't understand. Why shoot to kill? If you are trying to stop a suspect from fleeing, which you shouldn't have no type of authority whatsoever to shoot a suspect that's fleeing. But if you do feel like, okay, I need to shoot this suspect that's fleeing because they are belligerent, they have attacked me, they have whatever, what constitutes you actually shooting to kill? That's what I would like to know. Because aren't you trained? Haven't you went to the gun range and you know how to actually shoot in the leg versus in the back? I'm just saying, it makes no sense.
Right. They could have shot him in his ankle or something.
If that's the case,
I mean,
I'm just
they
saying,
didn't have to go for, something that they know is going to kill this man or anybody else. Like you just said, they could have shot him in the leg. They could have shot him in the arm, anything to, take him down, but not kill him.
And that's the thing. I don't think that a lot of these officers, and this is the reason why I'm for not defunding, but not defunding the police. I'm not for defunding the police, because I think that there are some good officers out there, or I think that we do need to have some good officers. I mean, we need to have good officers out there, and we need to have better trained officers out there. But I'm for police reform because of the fact of how you doing it, how you going about handling certain situations like this. And I think that they look at individuals as if they are cases and not fathers, not sons, not husbands, and not this is the actual life that you taken away, and that's just sad to me. So you guys saw the protests and everything that they were holding in Atlanta, and everything was going smooth. Of course, a lot of times we can go out and our words can be powerful. Our words can be power. Sometimes we can go out and we could just unify, and we show before how our just being silent and just being unified can be powerful. But then you have this right here, which happened on Juneteenth, Father's Day weekend. Well, we getting ready to show you guys now what took place. Okay, so as I said, you guys know that the Wendy's burned down. Let me kind of give y'all a briefing on that before I go into the next video. They burned down the Wendy's, and the Wendy's was burned down by a young lady named Natalie White, who they're accusing, or they're saying allegedly she was the girlfriend of Rayshard Brooks, but she's a white woman, and I do have her mugshot, which we're gonna show that real quick. Let me show her mugshot, because like I said, we have no problem with putting people on blast and showing their mugshots. So we're gonna show Natalie's mugshot real quick before we show the video. Okay, so they're claiming that this right here is Brooks, one of Brooks' girlfriends, which I don't understand how they even came to that conclusion. They said that they, after he was shot or before he was shot, they actually heard her name being mentioned as one of his girlfriends. Not his wife, but his girlfriend. This is the person that actually started the arson and burned down Wendy's. She was just arrested and let out on $100,000 bail. Okay, so this kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. If you guys can remember, we was talking about before. We was talking about, snakes in the grass and people that mix in with protesters and they cause chaos and things like that. And we have to be really particular about who's around us, who's marching with us, and so right now they don't know if she's actually have any relation to Rayshard Brooks, but at the same time, she's somebody who, in my opinion, intentionally blended in with the crowd. Okay, I don't really know what I'm trying to say because right now this girl is still a mystery. But we have to be really careful about who blends in with the crowd and who's there to kind of start chaos. Okay, and we don't know for sure if she is the girlfriend, if they have any relation whatsoever, or if she just somebody who just came to burn down. But I'm just giving y'all my opinion. I really feel like a lot of these people, and I'm trying to say this without seeming racist because I'm not a racist, but we have to be real particular about non-blacks who are starting fires, who are throwing bricks, who are blending in with our people while we're trying to actually hold a peaceful demonstration. We have non-blacks who are causing ruckus. Now, if it's proven that this woman have no relation or no ties to Rayshard Brooks whatsoever, then it make what we said about these snakes in the grass, it make it more real, right?
Yeah, because they mean they have their own hidden agendas to start.
It make it more real. It make it more real. Who is this woman? What made her decide to burn Wendy's down? Because guess what? When people do stuff like that, it falls back on us. Because what do they say? They say Rayshard Brooks was killed at Wendy's and they burnt Wendy's down in retaliation. You see what I'm saying? So it all falls back on us. But if this woman if she is not linked to the family or linked to the protesters whatsoever, then it makes what we say also real. These are snakes in the grass that's literally there to cause ruckus, to make us look bad, and B, to ignite a race war. Or not even just a race war, but to ignite a war, a civil war. So I don't know. It's crazy.
So what made them think that she was his girlfriend?
They said that they had on audio. It was said that she was his girlfriend. They said that it was actually mentioned, I think, before he died, that his girlfriend name was Natalie White. But
so what about his wife? What about the wife?
Well, I guess he's no longer with his wife. I guess he had a wife with children, and he also had a girlfriend. This is what they're saying. Like I said, this is still being looked into. This is still being investigated. So that's why it's kind of really hard for me to speak on, because nothing have really been determined yet. We really don't know who this woman is. Okay, a lot of people out there
haven't identified her as being a girlfriend. Nobody in the family has said anything about this woman.
I haven't heard anything about nobody in the family saying anything, speaking up on this woman whatsoever. If you guys heard it, drop it in the chat room, but I haven't heard the family confirm whether or not they know her. And I absolutely don't think that they would even acknowledge knowing her. You see what I'm saying? And I kind of feel like if this was an agenda for the family or something that the family wanted to do, then you would have seen maybe his children or his, friends, close friends of his. If this was the act that we did from us, you would have seen his homeboys out there burning it down. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't be just some mysterious white woman. I mean, think about it. Think about it. If a nigga in the hood gets shot or some jump off, you gonna see his homeboys, you gonna see his family out there if they wanted to do something. You see what I'm saying? It wouldn't be just no random mysterious white woman that people don't know that's if he even connected to her or not, if he even messing around with her or not.
Absolutely.
I mean, because apparently he was still married.
Our people out there, like we saw them in George Floyd's case, you know, doing what they felt was necessary. It wouldn't have just been this one lady.
Exactly. And even with the George Floyd case, think about it. Our people was out there protesting, right? And next thing you know it, you had this mysterious non-black person dressed in all black, which we had before acknowledged as the Antifa member, or a police officer. Okay, you had this person who started a fire, right? You had this person who started a fire. Same thing in this situation. And this is just my opinion because it have yet to be proven whether or not she have any relation with him. So same thing with the George Floyd situation. You have this non-black person who was found burning down a building. Same situation that we seen in other videos where you had peaceful protests going and you had non-black spray painting on buildings or picking up bricks and throwing them into the businesses. And so now you have all these black people who looting. And so what are they talking about on the news? They don't talk about the ones that's actually starting the fires. They're not blasting them. And you would never hear the news say a white woman because you will never see them make it about race. They would never point out the fact that a white woman started the fire or look at this white man starting the fire or a non-black person. I don't know if they even a part of the protest, but they just threw a brick. What they focusing on is the fact that once that brick was thrown, now here all these black people come running into the building, looting and stealing. But who are these people? Why you see what I'm saying? Like, why do we have all of these different cases where when a black person get killed, here it is, the non-black person is caught starting a fire or starting a war or kicking off the war. I watched a video, which I actually should have shared with you guys. I actually should have saved it to share with you guys. But I watched a video where a man was stating that protesting is us. That's what we do. Like our people, we protest. We hold peaceful demonstrations. That's something we have been doing for years, for centuries. Wars and riots is them. That's something that they start. So, but he made a really good point when he said that. And I wish I would have actually got that video and saved that video. Maybe we might share it with y'all next week, depending on what the conversation is going to be about. But that's something to think about. Because here it is, we have another situation where we have a non-black, mysterious woman. A lot of people in a community call her Karen. Instead of Natalie, they call her Karen. We have a Karen who decided to start a fire and burn a Wendy's down. And what does that do? It reflects on us. It reflects on those who was out there protesting at the Wendy's parking lot. It makes us look like we did something. We done burnt some shit up. And probably had nothing to do with that. So that's just crazy to me. That's just crazy. But so yeah, not only that took place, you guys, I'm gonna show y'all a quick video of what also took place on June, they call it Juneteenth, which is supposed to be a day for freedom, a day for liberation for the people that have been enslaved. And it was also Father's Day weekend. So I want to show you guys what also took place on that particular day in Atlanta, or that particular night in Atlanta. So I'm not going to play the full video. I just want you guys to kind of get a image of what went down on the weekend of Father's Day, Juneteenth. Oh, hold on.
But same spot. See a white boy shot up in the air.
Y'all hear that? A white boy shot up in the air. Did y'all hear that? So they out there at night, and let me just kind of give y'all a briefing before we continue the video. They out there at night, and they're holding a demonstration. And they had actually been out there all day in the Wendy's parking lot. Everything was going smooth. They were protesting. They were putting out flowers, putting out balloons for Rayshard Brooks. And look how everything jumped off. And this is the point that we're trying to make. And we trying to get everybody to understand that for us blacks, and I can only speak for us as black people. I'm a black woman. For us blacks, it's not about getting a riot starting a riot or kicking a riot. It's really, this is what we do when our people dies. This is what we do. We get together, we hold visuals, we bring the whole neighborhood, and our mindset is not on kicking off a war and going out there and just shooting white people. That's not where our mindset is at. We are there to honor our loved one. We are there to pay respect. Okay, but look what happened that night.
Whoa, shit. Damn, they shooting like hell out here. Same spot. Same spot. See a white boy shot up in the air. See a white boy shot up in the air. Oh, they on his ass. They got that thing. Whoa. Shit. Damn, man. They shooting like fuck. Man, this shit going crazy out here. Damn. Uh-oh, someone on the ground. Somebody down. That way you don't bring no kids out here late at night. So me and niggas strap out here been saying that shit all day. Somebody got hit? It was on.
Okay, so I wasn't going to play the full video, but that's what I wanted to show you guys. So apparently they were out there the full day, and they were, like I said, they were holding a visual for them inside the Wendy's parking lot. They were, by the time nightfall, a lot of different people start coming around. And so from what my understanding is, somebody rode up the block, a Caucasian male and female, and the guy just started shooting. The Caucasian guy just started shooting. A woman was shot, and of course, y'all heard, the guys just started busting back. So it became a war zone. It became a war zone, which was prompted by someone who just decided to roll up the street while everything was going on and just start shooting. It sounds too familiar. Like it's all sounding too familiar. Every time we hold in some type of peaceful demonstration, it always turns into a war zone. Why is that? Why the hell is that? Can we not rally together in peace? And yes, dudes is gonna come out carrying because they just don't know how things is gonna turn out. They don't know if somebody gonna roll up the street and start busting at them. See what I'm saying? So it ended up turning into a war zone. But when these type of videos get played on the news and when the media get a hold to it, guess what? It have us out here looking like some animals. Like we just straight up start kicking a war off. When they get a hold to the media, that's why I say the real revolution will not be televised. The real revolution you're going to find on social media. Because by the time the media get a hold to it, it's all us. It's all us. We literally came out there with the intention on starting a war. When that's not the case. So it ended up going down that night. It ended up going down. A young lady was shot. And I don't have any current report on, her stability or anything, but a woman was shot due to the guy and the Caucasian guy and female riding up the street, deciding to do just a drive-by and shake things up a little. Okay, now here it is. You got all these black people hanging out. They all outside, friends, families of Rayshard. You got people out there hanging out. Some may be strapped, some not. Okay, but nothing jumped off into that drive-by. Come on now. Drop me a one if anybody feel what I'm trying to show y'all. If anybody feel the picture that I'm trying to paint, drop me a one. And we're going to read some of these comments in the chat. Being ignorant, Trump said, if there is looting, there will be shooting, giving them the okay to come at the protesters. I mean, yeah, he did make that statement, and he was challenged on that statement. And from what he said was that wasn't the first time a statement was made like that. He actually got it from another politician who made that statement before. And he was, I don't know if he was backtrailing when he said that or whatever you call it, but he was saying that normally shooting follows the looting. It comes behind looting. And it's always been that way. I don't know. If it's not blacks, they won't mention the color. Exactly. It's going to all fall back on us anyway because of the situation. And because it's our people out there holding the demonstrations. Some people just don't know how to protest and hold vigils the right way. Shooting isn't the right way. That's the ignorant way. Exactly. And the thing is, when we trying to get you guys to see that it's not always us who kicking it off. I can only speak for what I've seen behind the scenes. It's not always us.
In most cases, from what I have seen doing my homework, it's never us. It's always them.
Basically. You got it. Basically. And so I definitely think that there's some kind of race war going on. I definitely think that you do have people who are out there kicking it off. If you guys hadn't heard about the 5 black men who was recently found hung in public in public places. I definitely think that it's something going on. It's been rumors of the KKK who's undercoverly hanging these people. So I definitely think that it's something going on, and when it's televised, it comes off as if, we're starting this war, and we're coming from a place of hate. And I'm not saying everybody is innocent, but, maybe some people might go out there with the mindset of, I hate you pigs, or I hate you white people, or whatever the case may be. But when you actually break everything down and you take a closer look at everything, it's not always us. As Lenise said, hell, for majority of the part, it's not us. It's some random person who comes into the mix and try to shake things up a little bit. And it's crazy, but we woke over here. I don't know. We woke over here. So, which leads us to our would you rather question. Okay, our would you rather question, because in some cases, our would you rather questions, I really want you guys to think about this. I don't want it to be like a non-brainer, but I really want you guys to actually think about what you rather question, because in some of these cases that I actually read early on when we first started the show, you have some cases where people actually complied. Okay, for example, Sandra Bland, okay, and was taken into custody and still mysteriously died. And you have other cases, is such as Drayshawn Reed, for instance, such as Rayshard Brooks, for instance, who actually fled and who still died. So our would you rather question of today, as a matter of fact, let me put this up real quick. Would you rather? And I don't know if it's like a real would you rather question. Just, we want to get you guys' opinion, just something to think about. Okay. And like I said, I don't know if it's a real would you rather question, but it's a self-reflection. Do I, if I was in any of these people's shoes, do I run or do I comply? Okay. Do I run or do I comply? So you approached by law enforcement and you actually see a way out. You actually see a way for you to run and escape. You actually see an escape. Do you run or do you comply? And I want to hear from you guys in the chat room. Would you rather comply with law enforcement or would you rather run? I'm gonna start with you, Mimi.
You said me? Oh.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Nene.
Go ahead, Lanice. You already sounded like you know what you was gonna say.
Go ahead, Nene. I thought you said Lanice. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought she said Lanice too. I would comply. I'm not running, and I'm not giving no officer a motive to even want to pull out a gun on me. I'm not doing it. So, especially if I have my kids in the car with me and I just so happen to get pulled over. I mean, like I said, it's a right and wrong way to handle a situation, and I'm gonna comply. I'm gonna put my hands on the steering wheel or on the dashboard, wait till they pull up, come walk up to my window, and ask them, what's the reason I'm being pulled over. Matter of fact, I might even say nothing because I don't have time for it, and I got kids to come home to. I'm just not gonna jeopardize my life from fleeing from a cop. I don't care what color they are. I'm not doing it.
What about you, Lanice? Do you run or do you comply?
It's going to all depend on the energy that the officers are giving me. So if they come and, they talking and they not reaching for no weapons and, just giving off bad vibes, then I will comply. But if I see that it's getting ready to go left, oh, I'm running. I'm out of there. I'll take my chances.
And it's easy. Let me just say too, it's easy for us to answer these. Not even really easy, but it's more difficult for a Black man to answer this question than it is for us. Because I'm pretty sure, especially in the spirit of moment, a lot of with a lot of these cases that we see and with Black men in general, sometimes you have like that spirit of moment type of conclusion that you have to come to. And that's a good point that you made, because a lot of times it might be based off of the energy that they giving off and how they trying to handle us. So I would like to hear from a lot of you Black men who in the chat room. Do you run or do you comply? And for those that have ran before, or those that would rather run because they just don't trust the cops, I would like for you guys to say that in the chat room. I would rather run because I don't trust the cops, or maybe the cops in my neighborhood. I just don't trust them. Or especially because the time we're in today, I'd rather run and try to save my life. Do you run or do you comply? You know, and I think that it's something to kind of think about prior to getting yourself in this situation. Or let me take that back. I think it's something to think about prior to your encounter with the police. I think it's something to meditate on. How do I, and especially teach your children how to encounter the police, or what should they do, or how should they behave, or how should they respond in an encounter with the police. But I think this is something to actually think about prior to actually encountering the police. Do I run or do I comply? Because like I said, it's not just the dumb question, because you do have situations where people have complied and they still was killed. Okay, Jennifer said, or let's start with Vegas. Vegas girl said, I will comply. That way, if something goes wrong, it's on the cops and not on me. I agree. Jennifer said, comply. What am I running for? I think it depends on the situation. Yes, just don't run in a straight line. You comply. But then if you run, you still get shot and die. So damn if you do and damn if you don't. And that was my response, Jennifer. I said, the hell if you do and the hell if you don't. I said, because I really kind of think that when it comes to encounters with the police, it's kind of like, do you have an asshole, or do you have somebody who genuinely, understands their job, and not just there being trigger happy? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of say it's like the luck of the draw, like, what type of officer is you gonna actually encounter, but I do want to say, for those who have decided to run in those situations, those who decided to run, understand that, especially with today, they will try to use your running as a justification to shoot you. Now, it might not have been like that before. Like my husband told me, it's been some times where he was dirty. He had some stuff on him, if y'all know what I mean by dirty. He had some, and this was back in the day. My husband don't do that stuff no more, so don't try to come out here condemning me. But and this is before we actually got married. Let me just put that out there. But he said there was some times where he was dirty and he took off running. And so back in the day, they wasn't so quick to shoot. They wasn't so trigger happy. Now I can just speak for, like I said, in Detroit, because you had a lot of guys that ran and got away. Whether it was in a car or on foot, they would flee. If I'm dirty, shit. And now trying to go back, because for them, their biggest concern was getting caught and going back to jail.
Absolutely.
That was their biggest concern. And this is what people don't understand. People, because I didn't even understand that.
Yeah, but you could still run from the police, and then when they catch you, then hell, that's when you gonna die. So what's the point in running?
Yeah, but see, some dudes ran because they mindset is, I don't want to go back to jail. They didn't think that, like I said, this whole thing was, as far as them shooting to kill and stuff now, from my understanding, like, this is all new.
You've had some men out there, and some women too, that has sold drugs perhaps, and their mindset is, okay, I've been in and out of jail. I got this last strike over my head. If I get caught, then I might have to do 15 years, 10 years, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not going back. So I'm going to take my chances. And you have some people that just can't, do another day in jail. So they're going to run. Now, as you just said.
Yeah, but you have to think about, what did you do to put yourself in a situation to where you got pulled over, where you thought, oh shit, the police behind me. Damn, I done messed up. Like, you have to think about male or female, what did you do? If you knew that you on parole or you've been out of jail, you know, you went to jail for driving on a suspended license, this, that, and the third. It could go all kinds of ways. You just
But
have to
so you
remember or
got
think
some
about what
cases where,
situation.
because you got some cases like where the man was standing outside selling loose cigarettes.
Right. That's different. But we talking about like if like say for instance in Brooks' case, you know, he was intoxicated. You know, I don't know if he maybe had a record or what happened to the point to where he was scared and he fled or he ran or whatever. It's just certain situations like you have to think about certain things before you react to something. You know, because I don't know. That's just how I feel. I don't know.
But most people that's put in a situation and they right in the now, like it's happening right then and now, they're not thinking about that. All they think they scared and they want to get out of there.
And
They're
that's
not
and
really,
that's the point that we need to make to our fellow kings, our fellow brothers, brothers, husbands. Nowadays, that's my point. Nowadays, if you start running, they gonna start shooting. Now, before you might had a chance to run and actually get away. See what I'm saying? Because they will chase you on foot, and you might
right,
got a
because
chance to
cops
get away.
back then wasn't so quick to draw their weapons, like you said earlier. You absolutely right about that. But now we know that these cops is not running after you. They're gonna shoot you.
Exactly. So why would you run?
Now, today, I don't suggest anybody to run. I don't, like I even told my husband, I said, shoot, you was lucky, because that was when you was living that street life, that was during the time where they would actually pursue a chase, call for some backup and try to catch you at a dead end or something, and then maybe pull a gun out, tell you to put your hands up or something like that, because their intentions is to arrest you and not to kill you. But now, today, they don't even let you see your day in court. They don't let you see your day in court.
I even remember back in the day, like you can run and they would chase you, but then they would stop pursuing you and they just catch you later.
Especially if they was like my husband, he knew all the cops by name in the neighborhood. Okay, it was this one cop they called Snowball, because he was probably like maybe the one white cop in the hood that everybody knew as Snowball. And my husband used to be like, if Snowball see me again, he gonna try to F with me, because he just ran from him. You know what I'm saying? A couple of days. So they actually knew the cops by name, and the cops, because they was policing the neighborhood, they knew who the drug dealers was. They knew who the child pedophile was. They knew who the people was, because they was actually policing the neighborhood. So they knew people by their nickname. They knew them by their first name. They knew who grandson it was. They knew whose son it was. So yeah, they will chase you. And if they can't catch up with you and they got to catch you another day, they'll just catch you another day. But it's not like that no more today. It's not like that. So I don't really suggest nobody to run, especially not today. Be as compliant as possible, because maybe that will lessen your chances of getting killed. But I wanted to ask this question because I wanted to know, do some men fear jail so much still to this day, to where they would say, you know what, I'm just gonna be out, I'm just gonna take off? Or do they fear the cops so much to where they say, I don't even want to have no type of interaction with him, I'm just gonna leave?
I know a lot of people today that fear jail more so than the police. And
Honey,
now
I have questions. I love
if,
you.
if you go toe to toe, they'll go toe to toe with the police all day long. They'll fight with them, whatever. But they just don't want to go back to jail. And that's just what it is. And they will run.
Yeah.
So it's either jail or 6 feet under. Which one?
And that's something that we have to consider today. Like that's something that you really have to consider today because, like I said, time have changed. Now they actually, and they're not even shooting to stop you from fleeing. They're not shooting you on your ankle or shooting you on your leg. They shooting you on your back. They are shooting to kill. So that's something to definitely consider. But let me just go ahead and move on. I didn't stop my camera. Let me go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is something that took place on Father's Day weekend, and this is kind of going into black on black crime, okay? Because the war is just not with us and the police or us against the non-blacks. You know, we still have a problem in our community where we're killing each other. But we killing each other, and that needs to stop because I kind of feel like, how can we make a stand? How can we get, you know, anybody of the non-black race? How can we get anybody to take us serious and we constantly killing each other? So I'm gonna play a quick clip of this video real quick in case you guys didn't know what took place. Remember, this was not just Father's Day weekend, but this is Juneteenth, a day that we have deemed to be a day of liberty, of freedom for those that feel enslaved. Okay. And this is what took place in Chicago on this weekend. Now, I'm hoping I don't get any copyright strikes and have to take this whole live down because of it. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a shot because I want you guys to actually see this video in case you guys missed it and see what happened. Oh, hold on. I didn't. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Okay, if y'all don't know what's going on, it's a box I have to click in order for y'all to hear the audio. And sometimes I keep forgetting to do that. So let me go ahead and reshare it. Now, this is Chicago. What happened in Chicago over the weekend?
To you, a peace rally will be held here by the act who will. If someone knows,
buffering a little bit, so bear with us.
At 86th and Wood, a police officer tries to console a woman at the scene of a triple shooting with reports of 2 people dead. This comes after a weekend of murder and mayhem, the bloodiest of 2020. At least 106 people shot, 14 of them fatal. Minors. In one incident, 2 boys, 15 and 16, were walking in an alley about 12:20 a.m. when someone fired at them, police say, from a gray sedan. A 13-year-old girl was shot inside her home and later died as well. Police identify her as Amaria Jones. 2 boys sitting on the porch were also hit, but they're reported to be in good condition. But police say 3-year-old McKay James was riding in the car with his 600 block of North Central Avenue at 6:30 p.m. Saturday, when somebody in a blue Honda fired shots into that car, killing the 3-year-old. Her father suffered a graze wound to the abdomen. Police say he was the intended target. Amid pleas within communities to stop the violence and turn PD.
Before I continue, over 100 people were shot. Over 100 people were shot. If I'm not mistaken, it was, maybe Kanisha can help me out with this. This was one of her stories. 104 people were shot. I want to say about 16 of them.
It was 14 fatal.
Okay, 14 fatal, and majority, I don't know how many, were children.
Were children. Yep.
4 children. Okay, and 4 children.
No, majority of these, well, no, not all of them were children. It was some early 20s that was in there too, but majority of them were children that were killed.
I'm gonna let you speak on it. I just wanted to make a point real quick. I'm gonna let you speak on it because I don't have all the facts. I know you got the actual facts, but these were children, y'all. These were actually a 3-year-old boy was shot because his father was the intended target. Now, this happened the same weekend that we deem to be, and like I said, because what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna sit here and just blame one side of our men and our children dying. We're not gonna do that. Well, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not going. I can only speak for myself. I'm not going to do that. Okay, because something is wrong within our community too. That instead of us taking this, especially this weekend, and going out there holding peaceful demonstration, aligning ourselves with our people, coming up with plans and strategies to have, to come up with what do we call it? To come up with plans and things like that. I forgot what we called it, but instead of us trying to align with our people, this is what we out there doing, y'all. Chicago. This is what we out there doing. Demands. That's the word I was looking for. And that instead of us trying to come together so we can actually create some demands and for us to protest and make our demands and everything heard, this is what we do. Really? I'm going to keep playing the video and I'm going to let Kanisha kind of speak on it a little bit, but crazy. Like, this really was heartbreaking, y'all.
Address the
it's really sad.
Are working hard.
This is where I call home, so it's really saddening to me to have to even talk about this, especially with a child as young as 3 years old. It's just to me, this is where I'm 50-50 as far as like Black Lives Matter and black on black crime. To me, it's like with this situation going on, you have a 3-year-old boy that was killed. Nobody has turned themselves in. It's the no snitch rule up here. I'm sure that's everywhere, but that's what we dealing with. Nobody knows who shot this baby. I'm pretty sure they saw who shot this baby, but nobody is going to go to the police station and turn themselves in or turn in the person that they know that killed this little boy. But it's funny that we have Black people angry that a white officer killed George Floyd or a white officer killed Rayshard Brooks, and they immediately go to the streets. We want them convicted. We want them convicted. If we don't get it, there's no peace, no justice, no peace. But then it's a 3-year-old little boy who's innocent, who had nothing to do with whatever his father did, but he got killed, and his father is still alive. But there's nobody in the street.
Kanisha, what you saying is, let me just, because I think you just made a really valid point, and I really want to kind of speak on that. So what you saying is, when it's black on black crime, nobody knows nothing. Nobody knows nothing. Nobody protests. Nobody out there rallying to end black on black crime. But you saying when it's a black on non-black crime, then here comes the protesting, here comes the advocates, activists. I'm sorry. Then here comes. Is that what you're saying? Here comes.
Yeah.
Everybody want to speak up. Everybody want to witness it. Everybody want to be a witness for the trial. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because like now, sorry y'all, my baby is up. He was sleeping. He's up. But now it's like they keep raising a reward to bring people in as far as who killed this little boy, and it shouldn't have to go like that. Chicago did a whole protest. Chicago did all the looting, all the stealing, all the vandalizing of black owned community businesses and all that stuff, but you can't go and say to the police station, oh, I know who killed this little boy, I know who's responsible for this. But if a white cop killed this little baby, then it would have been different. But because it's black, it's like nobody don't care. That's what I'm mad about. And that's why, like, sometimes it's sad that George Floyd had to die. It's sad that Rayshard Brooks had to die at the hands of a white cop. But this is a baby. This is a baby. And all these kids, everybody that got shot, except for like maybe 2 of them were Hispanic. But They were killed by black people, but nobody is saying anything. I don't get on Facebook, and I live in Chicago. I don't get on Facebook. I don't get up and turn on the news and say, oh, well, they have a person of interest sitting at the police station for killing his baby. I don't see that. I don't see the same energy that black people put in on white people killing black people, that they don't energy on black people killing black people. I just don't see it. So it's like I'm 50-50 when it comes to Black Lives Matter and black on black crime. Where's the energy that we need to have as black people in our own communities that we should have when it comes to black on non-black crimes? Where's that energy? This little boy shouldn't be dead. The 13-year-old girl shouldn't be dead. The 17, 16, 15, 19, 20-year-old shouldn't be dead.
If anybody agree with Kanisha, drop a 1 in the chat room. I think that was very powerful. I think she made a really powerful statement. If y'all agree with Kanisha that we should have that same energy when it comes to black on black crime, drop a 1. She really opened up a world of thought to me, a new world of thought. And that's something that are we still live or did I get struck? Let me go ahead and end this screen share before I get struck for even playing that video. But if y'all still in the chat room, anybody agree with her, drop a 1. Where's that same energy? Where are our activists when it comes to especially, and I'm not going to just really pinpoint Chicago out, but especially Chicago, because there's so many murders and things that happen, especially when it started getting warm in Chicago. It's so much murdering and things that happen in Chicago. Where are the activists? Where is Black Lives Matter? Do Black Lives Matter?
And of course, Andrew Holmes. And of course, Andrew Holmes. Y'all know who Andrew Holmes is, the infamous fake Kanika detective. He was there on TV. You know, he showed up to all of the things. He showed up to everything when it's a murder. He showed up to it. But I just don't get it. Like the same guy that Barbara was putting on her page, Martin G. I haven't seen him, say anything about this killing, about black on black killings. I haven't seen him say nothing about that. But he was in Milwaukee or Wisconsin, Minnesota, wherever it was. But where was he at? Jedediah,
Chicago.
Yeah, where are they? Where are they? You can go to Minnesota, but you in Chicago and you can't do anything.
104 black people shot in one day, or over 2 days.
Opening up Chicago. It's going to get even worse. They going in phase 4 Friday. It's going to get even worse. Next weekend is the 4th of July. I guarantee it's going to be almost 200 people shot. I'm telling you.
I think this is something that definitely needs our attention as a people. Now, I'm not saying that what's going on, and I'm sure Kanisha is not saying that, Black Lives Matter being active as far as with police brutality and things like that we dealing with. We're not saying that that's just meaningless, because it should serve a purpose as long as you actually have some demands as far as protesting, because that's what we stated last week, I think, or the week before last. The kind of protest without actually having demands in place is kind of meaningless. But I think that this is also, this is a problem. This is a problem. And this is also something that needs to be addressed. How we behave in our community and how we carrying ourselves as a people. And if we want our demands and our voice to be heard and taken serious, come on.
Yeah, because this is the reason why other colors,
other ethnicities not taking us serious.
This is the reason why they look at us the way that they do, because they saying, well, hold on, y'all hollering Black Lives Matter all of a sudden, but y'all the same ones that's out here killing your own people.
And I definitely I don't, and let me just put this out there. I don't respect people who take people's life, period. I don't care what color you are. It's just, I don't respect it. To take somebody's life like that, especially an innocent child, to me, you just is of a horrible person as that cop that killed that black man. You just as horrible. You are just as horrible. And you should be thrown under the jail as well. But, I don't, when Kanisha wanted to bring this story up and speak on this story, I definitely agree with her, because I think that we shouldn't ignore the issues that's going on in our own community. We, like she said, let's keep that same energy. Let's call them out. And if I had any of their mug shots or their profiles, I would post them and blast them as well. Let's keep that same energy. We have to do better. That is just crazy because we are not animals and we shouldn't be treated as such. And we shouldn't treat each other as such. We are humans. And you know, and it's just crazy to me. You know, like that baby 3 years old took a bullet for her father. What made you even decide that was the perfect time to kill? Even Scarface said no women, no children. I mean, I'm just saying, it's no rules to the game.
That ain't how they think of him, Malika. If they can't catch you, they gonna come after your grandma, your kids, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, anybody that they know that's kin to you. They gonna come after them. They don't care.
Wow. That's just crazy to me, you know. So rest in peace to the victims, you know, those that was killed over the weekend. Like I said, that was the same weekend that us as blacks, you know, we were coming together and we were taking a stand against police brutality, against enslaving us or feeling enslaved as a people. You know, we wanted to put together protests where we can unite and stand for liberty and stand for justice and stand for equality. But yet you have a story like this that surfaced. Like, it was just heartbreaking. Like, wow. And are we going anywhere as a people? Or are we kind of taking a few steps up and also moving a few steps back? And don't get me wrong, I do consider the fact that a lot of the generation, a lot of the youth that's out here doing the shootings and doing the killings and have no regard for human life, I do understand that a lot of them may not have fathers in their home. Fathers may be incarcerated. Fathers may have been killed. Fathers may be in the streets, you know, living that street life just as well. And I do believe that the family, it starts with the structure of the home. I do believe that, you know, but I agree wholeheartedly with Kanisha. Like, we need to keep that same energy and maybe try to, you know, create plans or something as to how to restructure our home, just as well as the police force, but also our home, to where our sons is not out there disregarding another human life. If you are a single parent, a single mother, speak to your sons and tell them how your life matters. You know, the woman down the street, her son, his life matters. If we're going to say Black Lives Matter, that means for everybody. So I'm definitely with you on that, Kanisha. It's just a sad story altogether. It's just a sad story altogether. If any of you guys want to leave any comments or anything in the chat, any questions in the chat, this is your time to do so. We have a little over 10 minutes to before we go ahead and end this broadcast. So we'll be looking in the chat. And I have question team. I love you guys, and I love what you guys are over there doing for Kanika Jenkins. Shout out to Kanika Jenkins. And anybody that's advocating for and all the content creators that's still looking for answers. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. But back in the day, if you ran, the cops will run after you and beat your ass when they caught you. Yeah, exactly, Jennifer. I ain't see that comment. Exactly. It's not, you know, times have changed. And we just want everybody to understand it and consider that. Also, you guys, make sure y'all like the video, thumbs up the video. If y'all like it, if y'all don't, thumbs it down. But if y'all like it, make sure y'all thumb us up and share this video, share this live. Share this live. Y'all know this is still a primary new channel. And yeah, help us get some people. Help us build our audience if y'all can. And also, I'm going to drop a link for y'all our Facebook page. If you guys are on Facebook, make sure that you guys like and follow us on Facebook. Nightbot is supposed to come in here and drop the link for me. I think Nightbot went to sleep. Nightbot might have went to sleep. So let me see if I can grab that link real quick. Make sure you guys follow us on Facebook. I'm gonna grab that link real quick because Nightbot took a little nap. Let me go ahead and drop that in here. Oh, there she go. There go Nightbot. Okay, Nightbot. You was a little bit late, but you in there. Okay, so that's the link to our Facebook. Go ahead and put it in here real quick so you guys can see that. Okay. All right. So we're getting ready to get up out of here. If you guys have any questions or anything, I'm also going to leave you guys with our email so you guys can start emailing us topics of discussions that you guys want us to talk about, or anything you guys want to send us. Send us some questions. Queens Roundtable at gmail.com. And that link is in there as well.
Y'all send us some for real. Y'all send us some emails. Give us some topics to talk about because we work hard every week, every day, coming up with different topics to talk to y'all about and with y'all. So y'all have the email. You know, if you have Malika's Facebook page, if you have mine or Lanice's, you can send us some questions. We'll be more than happy to discuss them behind the scenes and then just come on here and talk with y'all. You know, make our job a little bit easier sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
And I definitely agree with that. It could be any topics. It could be any topics. You know, we don't always have to talk about the same thing. You know, it can be any topics. You know, we'll talk about anything. So just drop us something. But Jennifer, you made a really good point, and it answered our questions like, what do we do, you know, to kind of strengthen the home and our communities? And Jennifer said having social programs in the neighborhood makes a lot less crime activity. And, you know, let me just say this too. I grew up, my mom was the director of the YMCA. And so I grew up when I was younger going to the YMCA. And so they had like after school programs, swimming lessons, game rooms, things like that. And so everybody in our neighborhood after school, we used to all meet up at the YMCA. They had, they would serve you lunch, snacks, things like that. In the summertime, you had free lunch. And so with my mom being a director, I used to be there like after school every day. In the summertime, I would go every day. It gave us something to do. I think a lot of these people are bored. You know, a lot of the YWCAs and different outlets and stuff they used to have been torn down. A lot of our youth can't go to the center and play basketball because it's being overtaken by older guys, drug dealers that can't go to the courts because now the courts have been turned into a meeting spot where all the drug users and their clients go meet up at. You know, I think that's really important that we do have some type of social programs and some type of outlets for our youth and give them something else to do. And that should be something that Black Lives Matter or different organizations like that should consider working on.
Absolutely, because we had Boys and Girls Club and they went on field trips and stuff like that. And it, like you said, it gave everybody something positive to look forward to and to do. And it stopped a lot of us from just roaming around in the streets and just being up to no good. So we definitely need to get that back, you know, going to the community centers and just having a place where we all can come together and just, you know, do something for the kids. They had block parties and stuff like that. They don't do
block
those things
parties.
anymore.
Oh my God, I remember the block parties. I remember the block parties. Yes. And in the summertime, it was a block that had a party every day. Like, even if it wasn't your month, you know what I'm saying, or your week, you can go to a block party down the street, or, you know what I'm saying? We all should know each other. You know, and that's what was different too. Like back in the day, back in the day, I had so many family members in my community where you couldn't catch me outside doing something crazy. Cause I'd be like, because if my mom wasn't around, if she was at work, I'm telling you, everybody knew me. Everybody knew my mom, they knew my father, they knew my aunts, my uncles, they knew everybody in the neighborhood. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you caught doing something, hey, it's gonna get back to mama. You know, like,
Man, I used to hate neighbors like that.
I'm telling you, like neighbors let me just say this since we get ready to get off anyway. Let me tell you another one of my little personal juicy stories. But I ended up having a house party in which I charged everybody $2 to get in. And so we talked about this house party for like maybe a week or two at school. I didn't have flyers. It was, back in the day, it was just word of mouth. So my party was so off the hook, y'all. Okay, because I knew that this day my mother was working all day, or she was working midnights. She just started working midnights. So I knew she was going to be at work all night. Okay, she left like around 10 o'clock. Party started jumping like around 11 o'clock. About 2 o'clock, my party was off the chain. Okay, everybody and their mama was there. Y'all, why did my mama walk in the door and shut it down? And my mother worked like a good 20. My mother worked like a good 25 minutes away from the house. She walked in the door and shut it down. And I was so upset. Like, how did you even know about the party?
Because back then, your parents, if they went to work at night, trust them and leave, they had some neighbors watching your ass.
Those neighbors was watching the house.
No more.
Yes.
Walking in and out of their house, your neighbors was going to call your parents and say, do you know when you got all these people up in your house while you at work?
Don't throw it away.
And baby, yes, they did. Yes, they did. And I didn't even know she knew their phone number. They knew her phone number. I didn't know any of that. I just knew I was getting away with this party. I mean, I had collected a nice little $60, $70 at the door. I just knew that we was good. Oh, baby. When I tell y'all she showed up and walked up in the house and her mouth hit the floor like what's really going on, and I got my butt tore up for having that party. Yes, I got my butt tore up because my mom, she didn't play. She disciplined the hell out of me and my father. And if it wasn't enough, she would call my father and I would get a double whammy.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah, I got double whammies. Okay, so that was the last party I ever had. That was the last party I ever threw. Okay, but see, that's the thing. We need to get to the place to where we kind of just keeping an eye out on our youth. Even if that's not your child, forget that. Oh, that ain't my child. You know what I'm saying? Well, if they child kill your child, then you're going to have something to say about it. So, yeah, like times have really changed. And I kind of think that, this is something that we should try to consider, just reconstructing our neighborhood and us as a people and not ignore, because I don't think we get nowhere with ignoring the black on black crime, because to me, it's just as bad, if not worse. And I know some people say, oh, that's not the issue. The issue is them killing us. Both of them is the issue. Both are the issues that need to be addressed. Like Kanisha said, keep that same energy when 104 people get shot over the weekend. Takes a village to raise a kid. Baby, back in the day, we had a whole village, okay? We had a whole community.
You got that right, because you could do something outside and your neighbors would get you before your parents get you.
And my whole thing is, I'm still for that. Just don't put your hands on my child. If you catch my child doing something that they have no business doing, come knock at my door. Just come to my door and let me know. Don't restrain them. Don't touch them. Don't grab them. Don't put your hands on my children. But you are more than welcome to tiptoe to my door Knock on the door and let me know, hey, I just saw your child doing X, Y, and Z. Oh, baby, I got them. Trust me.
But you know, Malika, a lot of times now you can't even do that because the parents are so ignorant that you trying to, give them the heads up on something that their child did wrong, and they turn around and want to fight you.
Well,
So a
my
lot of
helpful
people don't
tip
do
on
that.
that would be tell them one time. If it didn't work, wipe your foot off at the door and go on about your business. And when that child, if something happened to that child at night, you have done your part. You've done your part.
I agree.
But do your part. That's all I'm saying. Do your part. Remember with the case of I want to say it was Cupcake case, and the baby had wandered off and she was at the party all that time and by herself, and the neighbors wouldn't even hold the baby or take care of the baby till her mom showed up or make sure the baby got to the house. And you see what I'm saying? That didn't even knock on the door and talk to the mom like, hey, your daughter came outside 3 or 4 times, pulling down her diaper, all type of stuff. So I want to be able to talk to the mom. If the mom want to come outside acting all ignorant, okay, I did my job. I wipe my foot up at the door. I'll keep it pushing because I did my part. We all have a part to play in this revolution. And it starts at home. It starts at home.
I'm glad you said that because I just want to give this tip to everybody to leave y'all with this. Since we recognize fathers this show, that I just want to, say to the fathers that's still out here listening to make sure that you really take time in your kids' life and teach them how to encounter the police, have talks with your kids, sit them down and show them what's going on, and teach them how to handle themselves. And for the mothers, I really want to encourage all the mothers to let the fathers lead. Let the fathers lead. Don't be afraid to let them lead. Let them, do their job, because we as mothers, we cannot teach men how to be men. So I just really want to, encourage everybody, especially the fathers, to continue doing your job with your children and teaching them. And again, for all us mothers, don't be afraid to let the fathers lead. Don't be afraid to let them teach the kids.
And if you don't have the child's father in their life, let me just include this. If you don't have the child's father in their life, maybe there's an uncle, maybe there's, a grandfather or somebody you might can lean on to have that conversation with your child. Somebody that's responsible, respectable, that you can have to help to assist you with help and guide that child. Don't be afraid to turn to that person. Because we can't do it alone, ladies. We can't do it alone. So thank God that, some of us are not alone. And we do have, if you don't have that father figure, you do have a man in your life who can become a father figure to your child, maybe a brother or just somebody who you deem as responsible enough to actually play that role in your child's life. So
yeah, because you got mentors out there, you can find somebody that can help. And like Jennifer said, it takes a village to help raise kids.
Some women are stubborn. They be thinking like, I don't need a man. I got this. I can raise my son. I don't need a man. I don't need this. I don't need that. Yeah, but your son needs a man to look up to. You might not need a man, but your son should have a positive role model to look up to.
And think about how that child feels, seeing other children with their fathers and stuff. Again, like I said, my father passed early on. I was 8 years old. So Father's Day came around and just seeing kids with their fathers and stuff, that tore me up. And even though my mother did her damnedest to make sure we had, and she did everything in her power that she could do for us, it still didn't take away having that father in our life, that father figure. Now, I was blessed to have grandfathers and uncles and, active church members and stuff like that in my life, but I still long for my father. So that's something to consider. Don't take that away from your child.
Amen. I definitely agree. Well, yeah, so thank you guys for joining us today. This was something that was really touching to us because we wanted to acknowledge the fathers, those who are alive and those who did not live to see this Father's Day. So we definitely wanted to take to use today to take the moment to acknowledge these people and to speak on any situations that we can speak on. We can only speak on certain situations as a woman. And to give y'all our input on what's going on when it comes to black on black crime, as well as the police brutality and black people. So we definitely wanted to speak on that. So thank you guys for tuning in and joining us. And we will be back next week. Remember, you guys have the email. Send us the email for any topics or discussions you guys may want to have. Follow us on Facebook. Our Facebook link is also in the chat room. Thank you guys. We love you guys. Be safe. And until next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.
See you later.